Hello everyone. I wanted to deliver as promised my hack for completing the square. I think you'll like this. I think it's indeed superior to anything that's in any of the algebra textbooks I've seen. Basically they just parody each other and they never take a divergent path and try and smooth the techniques and simplify them. I came across this idea while I was teaching calculus. Essentially, in calculus books, you're asked to find the solution to a quadratic quite often, and everybody runs to the quadratic formula, which I have found to be error-prone. It's not really developed for human beings, and that it has so many computations. We're bound to make errors when we use it. This technique cuts to the chase. Essentially, it's similar to the normal way of completing the square. That is, we isolate the two terms that have the unknowns in them, and I do that here by adding 3 to both sides. But even that is a superfluous move. Now, let's go straight to the technique here. What I do, instead of pulling this 8 out, dividing it by 2 and squaring it, I go straight to the hacked trinomial written in exponential form. All I do is I divide this number here by 2, and that gives me a 4. And I go straight to the, like I said, hacked factored trinomial. Now, these two lines are not the same. They're not, one's not a rewritten version of the other. In fact, if you were to multiply this out, you would get this, t squared plus 8t, which is in fact the same. But then you have this 4 squared here when you multiply it out. So you have this. And as you can see, this is not the same as this. So I realize that, of course, in my hack. And all I do here is I remember that I've added something here, and I just square this to find out what I've added. I've added plus 16. So I better add 16 to this side. So that's pretty much the hack. We're in the same territory now as when we do the traditional completing the square. We take the square root of both sides, and the square root undoes the square, so on the left side we have t plus 4. On the right side we have plus or minus the square root of 19. You still have to put the plus or minus in, of course, when you take the square root of both sides. And now we subtract 4 from both sides, and we get our answer, negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 19. Okay, so that's the hacking technique for completing the square. I'm going to do it again because clearly you need to see it. This one's ready to go. The terms are isolated. I go straight to the factored trinomial form. All I do is divide this number here, whatever it is, by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And now I ask myself, okay, what have I added to the left-hand side when I do this? And the answer is this term squared, which is 9. So I add 9 to this side, and I get 16. And now take the square root of both sides, and you get x plus 3 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 16, or plus or minus 4. And now all I do is subtract 3 from both sides. And so we get x is equal to plus or minus 4 minus 3. And we're ready to follow the two paths to the answer. X is equal to plus 4 minus 3, which is 1. And x is equal to minus 4 minus 3, which is minus 7. The same two answers I got in the preceding video. I'm going to work one more here, a little more complicated. We have to get the two terms with the unknowns together in descending order. So I'll subtract 6x from both sides. And I'll isolate these two terms by adding 3 to both sides. So we have this. But again, with the hack, as with the normal completing the square technique, you have to have a coefficient of 1 here. So what I'm going to do is divide both sides by 6. And now we're going to do a rewrite up here. We have 6x squared divided by 6. Well, the 6's are going to cancel, and we get the x squared term by itself, which is what we wanted. And now I have to do this division. Negative 6 divided by 6 is a negative 1x. So we have this. And on the right hand side we have 1/2. Now once again, we are going to jump straight to the factored trinomial form. And we take the number here and we divide it by 2. What's minus 1/2 divided by 2? Minus 1/2 divided by 2 is minus 1/2. And so we're dealing with fractions. And if you do the quadratic formula, you're going to have fractions. If you complete the square, you're going to have fractions. There's no technique that's going to eliminate them at this point with this problem. But again, my technique says you have to square this because that's what you're adding to both sides. Minus 1/2 squared is a plus 1/4. So I add 1/4 to this side to balance it out. Okay, we take the square root of both sides. Over here we're going to get x minus 1/2. And over here we have 1/2, 2/4 plus 1/4, which is 3/4. And again, we're taking the square root of both sides, so I'll write the plus minus on this side like that. And now we're almost done. We add half to both sides. So we get 1/2 plus or minus. And does this simplify? Yes, we have a square root of 3 over a square root of 4, or a square root of 3 over 2. And I think there's a little bit more work we could do here for our two answers, but right now I'm content to just leave it here as I'm pretty much run out of space. And you'll have 1/2 plus square root of 3 over 2, and you'll have 1/2 minus square root of 3 over 2. This problem I worked here is a very thorny problem, and my hack cut it to the quick very slickly. So I think it's a wonderful technique. You won't find it in any textbooks. Tread softly then if you decide to use it. It's all on you if you do. Okay, talk to you soon.